Well, hey folks, everything new under the sun. This is kind of an unlikely video. It's fairly late. It's my bedtime now. But I saw this article. I was relaxing watching the news. I saw this article on ZeroHedge.com, and I thought I would do a quick video about it. I think it fits what I believe to be the truth. Fits more the biblical narrative as well, related to God holding the earth and the universe together, and the fact that we're not going to be destroyed by rising sea levels. We certainly won't be around that long, even if that were ever to happen. And I don't believe that scientifically it would happen, because God has placed checks and balances in the earth, and there are fluctuations. There's many more times in the history, the written history of the world, the last 6,000 years, that confirm that the earth at many points was much warmer than it is today. So to say the Earth's temperature is rising by a few degrees, that's no biggie in terms of the history of the Earth. It's been much warmer in the past, and that's not caused any big problem. So NASA confirms falling sea levels for 2 years amidst media blackout. Most media outlets cannot be bothered to report something that dramatically deflates their narrative. So it goes without saying that when NASA confirmed the ocean levels have actually been falling for the past few years, the media would be more than silent. As the global warming narrative quickly unravels and leftists scramble to throw accusations at those who dare question the false data, the media brushes facts under the rug amidst revelations of scientific fraud, data alteration, and faked hockey stick data models. The fake news remains suspiciously silent over the fact that NASA now confirms ocean levels have been falling for nearly 2 years. On NASA's page, intended to spread climate alarmism, NASA's own data reveals that the worldwide ocean levels have been falling for 2 years, dropping from a variation of roughly 87.5 millimeters to below 85 millimeters. Now, if you even believe this data to start with, whether it's accurate or not, I don't know. But I don't think the variation, and since we're only talking millimeters, I don't think the variation really causes that much difference. I mean, we're talking 95 to 2015, 20 years. It hasn't moved that much, all things considered. I think it's well within the normal variation. This is 80 millimeters, so 8 centimeters is what that's showing. So since 1995, it's risen 8 centimeters. According to this, sea height level variation millimeters, 80 millimeters, 10 millimeters to a centimeter, and so 8 centimeters. This is what they're calculating. This data clearly contradicts the false narrative of the rapid, never-ending rising ocean levels that flood continents and drown cities. The narrative is climate alarmist key element of climate change for fear-mongering fiction that's used to scare gullible youth into making Al Gore rich. And there certainly are a lot of people who are getting rich from climate change and what they're doing to apparently prevent it. Example is Elon Musk's company Tesla. They produce electric vehicles, which all the governments of the world like, because they like to think that moves us toward lesser global warming, lesser using of fossil fuels, which create carbon dioxide and create a greenhouse effect. But did you know Tesla is massively subsidized by the government to be able to sell their vehicles? So they get a huge amount of government money. So it's in their favor to be part of the climate change rhetoric and narrative, because they get millions of dollars in money to offset the cost of their cars. So yeah, they're happy if climate change is happening, because that means they're getting millions of dollars. It's all about money, and control. So you got to be careful about what's happening. Even if the Earth is warming, and I wouldn't doubt that it's warming. The truth is, whether it's warming, is that bad or not? And is it not just going to snap back? Are there highs and lows in the history of the Earth that reflect that we're still within regular ups and downs of the temperature and the temperature spectrum. I believe we're just we're heading upwards, but eventually it'll start going downwards again, and we'll start going into a cold, the modern minimum time, when we have mini ice age, and that's happened in the past as well. So there's been huge fluctuations in temperature across the globe in the history of the Earth, all documented by historians. This is nothing new, and God has in place checks and balances to deal with these things. And God's not going to let the Earth get destroyed. He's going to destroy it himself at one point, but He's not going to let it get destroyed by us. Certainly, it's not going to be destroyed. If I read the end of the book, read the end of the book of the Bible, and you'll find out what happens. It does not get overwhelmed by oceans. Global warming alarmists might say this is only a pause in rising ocean levels, and that the long-term trend is clearly in the direction of rising oceans. However, these people widely exaggerate the degree of ocean level increases to the point of absurdity, and have been caught red-handed completely fabricating data. Many stories like that, many stories about fudging the numbers, really, to make it look worse than it is. Even in a worst case scenario, sea levels will rise only about a foot over the next 100 years. I don't think we're going to be around for the next 30 years. I think the Lord's coming back that soon. The amount is far short of what climate alarmists would need to create an apocalyptic event based solely on the weather. And it finishes off by saying, even a warmer planet would be more hospitable to plants, but again, warmth as a benefit for plant life is not something climate alarmists want to hear. They don't want to hear that carbon dioxide is good for plant life, that warmth is good for humans and animals all around the Earth. Yes, it will maybe cause more desert in some areas, but it's going to open up a lot of habitable land in the northern reaches of the planet, and so it's going to open up a lot of new land to us, which we can inhabit. So as much land that goes to desert, that much and probably more will become habitable all of a sudden. Siberia, northern Canada, all of that is ready to be inhabited, and there's no lack of land for humans either. 6 billion people, no problem. The Earth can handle twice that many. And we're not going to get there, but it can definitely handle twice that many, and still be plenty of room for all of us. So the Earth is not overpopulated. Climate change is, climate change happens all the time, but it's not leading to the death of everybody. It warms for a couple decades, couple hundred years, a couple centuries. Then it cools for a couple of centuries. Then it warms up for a couple of centuries. Then it cools for a couple of centuries. This is within the natural fluctuation, and I believe this completely supports the Bible and the book of Genesis and the way God created it. And I've also read the end of the book, like I said, the Bible, so I know what's coming. So you can be assured, at least I believe, that climate change, there's a lot of other agendas for people who are pushing this. And NASA apparently even has data now confirming that, well, maybe it's leveling off now, or even going downwards. The last 2 years it's went downwards. So will that trend continue? We'll see. But does this still mean that we're going to drown in 100 years? I don't think so, because I don't think we'll be around that long. And I think there's a check and balance there anyways. And I explained that in other videos where I explained that checks and balances of climate change and the whole the water cycle and all that stuff. But anyways, I'll leave it there. This, I think, confirms what the Bible says, what it has to say about God created the earth, that He set it up, that there's checks and balances, that He's controlling it, that He won't let something happen without Him knowing it. And I think this also confirms the historical texts that we have, the historical documentation, and the archaeological information about the history of the world. We go through these fluctuations all the time, nothing new.